Artists like Ibrahim Tusa, Ivan Buravan, Bulldog, Riderman, Ruti Joel, Ange, Pamela, Clarisse Caracera react to handover of sounds and songs recorded during Colonial period. On Thursday, October 28th, Rwanda received more than 4,000 sounds and songs from Belgium that were taken during the Colonial period. Nel Gabo to drop a new album soon. R&B's new kid on the block, Nel Gabo, real name Nelson Biangabo Chusa, is set to launch a new album dubbed R&B 360 come 21st December this year. Will Smith shares he once fell in love with a co-star during first marriage. I found myself desperately longing to see her. While many people are mum about their relationship, you can always count on Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith to keep it 100 with us.
Yeah. We are here with the information part in the morning call section, and we cannot wait to update you guys. Remember, the news for Friday is just only hashtag no hard news, only easy news, to make sure that you just go in your weekend with just some simple information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, so starting off on the local scene, as usual, artists like Ibrahim Tusa, Ivan Buravan, Bulldog, Riderman, Ruti Joel, Maria Johanna, Ange, and Pamela Clarisse Caracera react to handover of sounds and songs recorded during the colonial period. And as you all know, remember, we told you about this story on Wednesday. So different artists who are in favor of this went on reacting. So on Thursday, October 28th, Rwanda received more than 4,000 sounds and songs from Belgium that were taken during the colonial period. The music community welcomed them with prompt, saying that it's an addition that will uplift creativity in Rwanda. The New Times spoke to some artists who shared their different views. So Ibrahim Tusa, who is known for his Gakondo music, said, "For me, the songs we received were composed by our great-grandparents, and I feel they are the knot of wealth in traditional music, because we also make traditional music by getting inspiration from our ancestors. This is going to uplift creativity in our industry. There is no tradition without origin," which is very true. Ivan Buravan, who dabbles both in Gakondo and secular, says having our artistic sounds and songs back is something we should celebrate on a national level. As musicians, we are now able to trace our roots and know more about Rwandan music without just getting it from the elders. 4,000 songs are coming as an answer to many questions we had. We have spent a long time trying to make our own identity music, something that these songs and sounds will accelerate. Bulldog, who is in the hip-hop industry, says these songs hold not only lyrics but history that even the young ones could learn from. Through these sounds, we will be able to trace our real culture and use it to create our own unique music. Riderman also went on to say, the step of handing over that what used to be ours is good itself. If only we could receive even the remaining arts, the Rwandan creative industry would rise to the top. Maria Johanna, an amazing icon in the music industry, has said as well, we have been teaching our grandchildren about Rwandan history, but had no visuals or sounds to help our teachings. These recordings will help the next generation understand more about ancient Rwanda history and how arts united Rwandans. From that, our youth will understand our culture by just not listening, but also experiencing it. So something that all these artists had in common is the fact that it's going to be able to help them teach the youth in a more visual and audio way, and it's going to be able to preserve our history. These artists are going to be able to sing and write things that they have more knowledge about through these sounds and recordings that they received for over 4,000, which is really amazing.
Yeah, and I believe this serves as, how do they say it, as evidence of, something. Sometimes you tell a story, but if you don't have any evidence about it, people will be like, you may be are creating the things, or you are just bringing more logic. But you having the visuals and the songs is not only going to participate in the happiness of people who love Gakondo, but also it will serve as as an evidence of something that really took place and happened. Yeah. So heading on to the next story, we have Nel Ngabo in the house, and as you all know, if you follow him, he he posted this on his Instagram, and people who love him started sharing it. So Nel Ngabo to drop a new album very, very soon. So our R&B's a new kid on the block, Nel Ngabo, real name Nelson Byangabo Chusa, is set to launch his new album dubbed R&B 360 come 21st December. This year, only a few days to go. So this much anticipated album will feature most of Ngabo's solo songs, as well as those collaborated with fellow Kina music label mates. And Ngabo's first album was dubbed Ngabo, and also it was launched last year on 4th July virtually when Rwanda was celebrating Liberation Day as a sign of honoring living and also fallen heroes who shed blood for the freedom of Rwandans in general. So the Ngwe hitmaker shared the song news, the good news, with his fans through social media platforms like his Instagram and Twitter. Recently, while speaking to Kina music boss and audio producer Clement Ishimwe, talked about how the new album will take Ngabo's music career to another level. It is his producer confirming. So he said, I quote, Ngabo is working tirelessly to finish his upcoming album, and also trust me, it is one of its kind depending on the songs we put together for this album and also quality time spent on it, says producer Clement, while explaining Ngabo can't do radio interviews yet. I think he's just going to be, prepare himself until the 21st of December when this album is going to be out. And I know that he doesn't disappoint. What we have to do is just sit and wait for the songs one after another after another.
Yes, and we cannot wait for it to come out. More music from him. We love his music. I personally love his music, and the fact that he's going to be releasing a whole album again, a second album. This is his second album. It's amazing. R&B 360. He's an amazing artist. So congratulations to him. Let's just wait for his music.
Yep.
Yes. So last but not least, on the international scene, yesterday actually we talked about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith and their whole drama. Let's say Will is bringing some
family
more spice. So Will Smith shares he once fell in love with a co-star during his first marriage to Cherie. I found myself desperately longing to see her, he says. While many people are mum about their relationship, we can always count on Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith to keep it 100 with us and share all the highs and lows of their lives. While it was Jada last week, Will opened and gave an insight into his previous marriage to Cherie Zampino, who is the mother to his first child. So in an exclusive excerpt from his upcoming memoir, Will, the actor, shares that he once fell in love with his then co-star Stockard Channing of 6 Degrees of Separation, a movie that they made while married to Cherie. He wrote, Cherie and I were in the first few months of our marriage with a brand new baby, and for Cherie, I can imagine that this experience was unsettling to say the least. Will continued to explain that Cherie was living with the character he portrayed for the film. She'd married a guy named Will Smith. Now she was living with a guy named Paul Porter, who is the character he played in the movie, he stated. And to make matters worse, during shooting, I fell in love with Stockard Channing. So Will also expressed that he wanted to see Channing after filming had wrapped. Our marriage was off to a rocky start, he said. I found myself desperately yearning to see and speak to Stockard. Through Will, though Will fell in love with Channing, their relationship remained professional. Will spoke about his feelings for the actress in 2015 interview with S-Square. With 6 Degrees of Separation, I got a taste early of the dangers of going too far for a character. He continued, my character was in love with Stockard Channing's character, and I actually fell in love with Stockard Channing in real life. He contributed the way he was feeling to method acting, a technique in which an actor aspires to complete emotional identification with a part according to Oxford Languages. So Will also went on to say that it's a really dangerous place when you get good at it, adding he would spend 6 and 7 and 8 days in character before shooting, and you have to be careful with that. So
you see what I always tell you of people who say, it's just only the movies, it's only, something that we're going to portray. You never know what will happen or what will come out of it.
You actually never know, but it's not everyone who actually falls deep.
But he also is a good example.
He's an example, not a good example. He's an example of things that can happen, but it doesn't mean that it's everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was him expressing, because he's actually about to release a memoir about his life. He's actually doing a YouTube series about getting back into the best shape of his life, because through this whole COVID-19, he had lost shape and he was just not taking care of himself. But he's back and he's better, and he's writing his memoir that everyone is very excited to read about. And you can tell that through these truths that he's slowly releasing and making people excited for his memoir, you can tell it's going to be a juicy book. So we can't wait to see.
I love the fact that he is just being honest. They're always honest about everything, no matter, what you call secrets or whatever. So we cannot wait to see the release of the book. And we are going to be definitely hearing and learning new things.
Yes, so that was it for the morning call. I hope you enjoyed the stories that we had for you guys. Stay tuned, we still have more.